Hello. Today, I wanted to give you a step-by-step idea of how our clients inside the MYM Club, which is our private coaching group for menopausal women, lose weight, keep it off without relying on motivation. I think that motivation is a funny topic, and we did a poll, and there is just a lot of people struggling with that motivation and willpower. And I want to kind of tell you today, initially, how we get people so locked in inside the MYM Club. I think number one, we're trying to see what really is the reason for wanting to do what you want to do. If it is weight loss, let's find the biggest reason why you wanted to do it. Now, I propose that every single one of us watching this, myself included, has failed at some point in their weight loss journey. You know, whether it's I don't use the word failure. I normally use failure in the word of like a cessation. You're just stopping, you're giving up. But let's say had setbacks instead. That's a better word. I think that if we were to say, I started a diet Monday, I blew it by Wednesday, and I might forget it, I'll start Monday again. That's a setback. It's not a failure, but it wasn't successful. So how many times would you say that you've done that in your dieting career, let's say? Pop it in the comment section below. Is it 1? Is it 1 to 5? Is it 5 to 10? Is it 10 to 10 plus? How many? I'd like to see that in the comment section below, because basically especially in January is when we see it the most with motivation stuff. We see people making these, and it happens year round, but January is just this massive upsurge. They feel like the start of the new year, new me sort of thing. But this happens throughout the course of the year as well. What happens on the 1st of January, more than any other, but still happens throughout, is people make resolutions. People make goals throughout the year, right? Maybe, do they commit to losing 10 kilos? Do they commit to cutting down junk food? Do they commit to cutting out alcohol, quitting smoking, learning a language, learning guitar, whatever it is? Consider this, right? January gym memberships skyrocket, and social media is new year, new me. Motivational people putting their resolutions up. People started talking about what they're going to improve on, and most people only do things when they feel motivated to do them. All right, and that is what we call inside the MYM Club sprint motivation. And you would have had this in droves. I've had this. It's like you watch this incentivized videos, like you can do this, you are strong, and it's cool, it's brilliant. Like this live, I hope it's inspiring. Or it could be that you read an inspiring quote and you're like, my gosh, yeah. Or you read someone's story, like that is an inspirational story. You're hyped, you're excited. You're all right, cool, it's me, I'm ready. That's it. I'm going to set this big long-term plan. I want to lose this 10 kilos. I want to lose this 2 stone, whatever it is. I'm going to get down to business right away. Adrenaline's high, 100% focus on what I need to do now. There's no stopping me. I'm going to get up in the morning, this, and this. An hour passes, a day passes, a week passes, your energy is completely gone. That hype is gone. You don't know what happened, right? Because how do I get that back? So there you are. You're like, so I know how to, I always seem to get started, but I'm always looking for that motivation to get started, but trying to find out how to actually be consistent with that motivation over a period of time to do the thing is where I get stuck. So action without implementation is worthless, right? You can have all the sort of thoughts, I'm going to do this, and this, but if you don't do it, it's worthless. It means nothing. So what you have is you have sprint motivation, and functions like a drug. So you get this instant high and surge of energy. It makes you feel amazing for a while, but sooner or later it's going to dissipate and just disappear altogether. Once it does, you start feeling actually worse than you did before the motivation appeared. So you're willing to do anything to get this motivation back. All right. There's that movie that's I think it's Limitless, and it showed it really in a cool, quite visual way, right? So this main character took this particular drug, made him more perceptive. His whole world was kind of portrayed in these before it was like bland grayish colors, really sad colors, and now it's like vibrant. When he takes his drug, it's colorful, it's dynamic, it's rich, it's all these visual things that make you go, wow, this is vibrant. And then obviously the effects of that drug wear off, and it becomes grey again. And so what he does in that movie, he becomes solely focused on getting that amazing feeling back, that high, that motivation, the kickback. It's kind of like how addiction works, right? And you behave with motivation stuff just like any other sort of addict. When you're seeking motivation, you watch this motivational video on YouTube, you do one workout, maybe you listen to your favorite inspirational song, maybe. When I was younger, I used to go for runs listening to Rocky all the time, that Eye of the Tiger. So maybe it's you're reading all these particular posts, you're trying to be like, yeah, come on, I can see a testimonial there that's inspiring me. Someone is in my shoes that's able to do it. I can do it. Yeah, let's go. I'm just looking for anything to kind of sort of get that rush of productivity. But the feeling expires, you're like, bloody hell, I'm back to square one again, right? And you're scrapping, you're like, let's go one more time. Let's do it. If this doesn't work anymore, whatever. It doesn't. And you're like, oh, I'm going to try something new. I need to find more motivation. What's happening to me? So you start to develop, like, you become like a motivation junkie. It's really short-term motivation. It's awesome. It's temporary. And that's the problem. Many of us have this ridiculous belief that the sort of rush of adrenaline is going to sustain us over a long period of time, right? So if you've got, like, say, 10 kilos to lose, or a stone and a half, how is that rush of motivation going to last you 3 to 5 months? It never has and never will, right? The hype sometimes will last a couple of hours, potentially even a couple of weeks, after which most people give up on that 10 kilos and they're like, I'm not going to forget about it. And they look back and they try and address it maybe a year down the line, 2 years down the line, 5 years down the line. And that problem's become a bit more urgent now because they might have some health concerns around that. And that's the problem with short-term motivation. This sprint motivation is a way of thinking that if you don't have a specific purpose for sticking to those goals, then you're going to fail, right? And if you feel quite attacked when I say this, I mean this in the nicest way as possible, because I've been there too. It's probably because that you've either failed in an attempt to lose weight, because I've failed so many times in my New Year's resolutions. I don't even set my New Year's resolutions. I don't set anything at the beginning of the year. I set goals, but no more New Year's resolutions. I don't wait for the new year. Just try and implement it. And I do make mistakes along the way. And I always made mistakes when I used to focus on the sprint motivation, the short-term stuff. All right. So if something like losing 10 kilos is, and you rely on sprint motivation, you're going to fail. All right. With anything that's big enough, if it's at 10 kilos, stone and a half, you need to be able to sustain the energy and the willpower needed to reach that goal. So what you have to do is, we talk about it inside the MYM Club. Like, you need to define your big, fat, capitalized, exclamation marked, unique why. Why do you want to do this? And this is the marathon motivation. You need these long-term motivational benefits to stay. And for that, you need to define the core reason for why you're doing what you're doing. Not just explanations. You're like, yeah, just, I don't know. Isn't it good to be an ideal body weight? No. Why is it important that you're willing to go through blood, sweat, and tears for specifically what you want to achieve? Why are these 10 kilos so important to you? Is it a wedding coming up? A daughter's wedding? Is it a holiday? Is it a health issue? Now, if you can't answer these questions with a clear definition of what you desire, you're going to have a hard time putting together the effort into reaching that destination, which is, in this example, it's 10 kilos less, right? Now, I think a few of you, I don't know if I've talked about it in here, but inside the MYM Club I talked about somebody that everyone's familiar with, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, his mindset at the time, back a few decades ago, was like, I'm going to become the best bodybuilder in the world, right? And this is my inspiration for why I got into training myself. But he was dedicated to that, and that's the whole thing with him. He didn't watch other people to go and get motivated to work out. Right? He didn't need that kind of sprint motivation. He imagined himself, this is his marathon motivation, you need to find yours. He imagined himself as big as he could imagine, right? With all these winning all these bodybuilding tournaments, just looking in that kind of sport is about aesthetics, how they look, and he got excited about that. So he went to work, basically, to the gym, with that sort of 150% work capacity because he's already visualizing it. And it's the same thing with you, right? If you can visualize what it is that you want to lose that 10 kilos. Why do you want to lose it? You're onto a winner, and you'll develop sort of marathon motivation. And this is the exercise that we do inside the MYM Club, because I think using things like, I should be exercising, I should be doing my steps. Everybody knows that you should be moving. Everybody knows that you need to ideally be in ideal body shape, ideal body weight, for healthy reasons. But why do you personally want to do it? Do you want to lose weight? Okay, brilliant. Now let's simplify. Are you looking to do cardio to improve your just running up the stairs? Are you looking to improve cardio to improve your 5 kilometer time? Or are you looking to improve your cardiovascular system because you want to reduce the chance of developing a medical condition that potentially runs in the family? Do you want to become somebody who's strong every day in terms of a functional sort of athlete, I would say? Or do you just want to get some compliments from your friends? They're all relevant to know, because they hold down at the very core why you want to do this, and it's going to make it a lot easier for you to pull on that and have a look inside when things get a bit more difficult, right? So I think you should personalize your motivation. So if you can close your eyes and picture the success that you crave as clear as day, it's going to unleash this end stream of motivational energy that's going to keep you going for a long, long time. Now, this applies even when it becomes to getting motivated about things that you do not care about, right? Regardless of weight stuff, right? If it's work, you don't have to care about the specific thing, but rather the result that you're trying to get to, or the result that you're trying to achieve now. So if we apply it to, tests, we're doing a lot of studying. Some of you all are going through courses, and imagine we're trying to pass a specific test. It's not that this is a particular important part. It's the end goal of reaching that particular qualification. So do you see the difference when we use the sprint and the long-term, the marathon motivation? The benefits that you might expect in the future as you drive forward and you give 100% of that day. Actually, if you look back, I can't remember, I wasn't around when Arnie was competing, but nobody would have been able to see the effort he put in unless you're in the gym. You only saw that sort of end product on the stage for him. And that's the fascinating thing, is once you develop such a why, it's deeply rooted in, I want to achieve 10 kilo weight loss because of A, B, and C. You're always able to pull on that for motivation. You're always able to draw. So that is an exercise that we do inside the MYM, because we have something specific daily we call our 6 non-negotiables. And these are things that we need to do in order, and they're all personalized, in order for our ladies to move forward every single day. So every week there is, there's a good result at the end of when we weigh in on our Monday. But then we know this is the time frame it's going to take to get us to where we want to be. To lose that 10 kilos, it's going to take you, Tina, 3 months. To lose that 3 stones, it's going to take you, Debbie, 4 months. So this is what our 6 non-negotiables are about. And obviously it underpins, I'll talk about the pillars of our program. So this is stuff that we do inside the MYM Club, and all of our ladies go through that 6 non-negotiables. But I think that the thing about this is, because they're non-negotiables, they're things that get done, and nothing is going to stop our women doing those. And they're not difficult. It's not like go for a 5 kilometer run every day. It's not anything like that. We stop that. It's things that is important to them, that they want to achieve, that are going to basically require some effort. And the reality is, nothing that is meaningful is not going to come without effort. And one of the worst things that I think that you can potentially happen to anybody is we grow old and we say, I just wish I had more time. I wish I had more time to do this, this, and this. I wish I had more time to, get in shape and have a better quality of life in my 50s, in my 60s, in my 70s, in my 80s. I wish I would have done that competition 5-kilometer run. I always wanted to do that, and I never got to do that because I just couldn't get myself into gear. I wish I had more quality time with my grandson. I want to be able to run after him. I want to be able to roll on the floor with him, but I wasn't able to get down. And I don't think, being a sort of a grandma that's in her chair, like my grandma was when I was younger, is at the core of a healthy life. I want to in my old age, I want to be active. And if that is you, if that is specific to you, you want to be active, you want to be healthy, be moving, then that's a really important why. So I think stop relying on sprint motivation and get locked into marathon motivation. And let me know in the comment section, where do you feel that you are struggling the most with that? Do you feel like it is identifying the why? Do you feel like you are just a serial sprint motivationer? You're always looking for that next motivational hit? Do you feel that you've experienced moments of marathon motivation, but you don't know how to harness it long term? I'd like to know in the comment section, because with that motivation handle, we need to address diet. 90% of diets not take into account your emotional, your psychological aspects of weight loss. And the reason that diets don't do that is because the Weight Watchers, the Slimming Worlds, want that repeat custom. They want that cycle back. So you'll lose weight on these diets because they're restrictive, they're unsustainable, and they're not catered to you as an individual. They're not catered to your likes, your dislikes. It doesn't allow you to have meal times with loved ones or drinks with your friends. Therefore, you are going to stick to it for a certain time, and you're going to revert back because it's not sustainable, and you're going to gain the weight and then potentially some more with interest. So what we do differently inside the MYM Club is 4 things. The reason we get the success we do, and the reason that we have 5-star ratings across Trustpilot, is pillar 1, it's food freedom. Yeah, I'm going to share the pillars with you. I think this is very relevant, but it's food freedom. It's the ability to not have particular foods that are completely restrictive. When we cut certain food groups out, instantly gives you a relationship with food that is either good or bad, or potentially negative, or this causes carbohydrates, for example, has been demonized for causing weight gain. The reason with food freedom, there's more flexibility. It's easier to stick to because there's nothing that we cut out. Everything is on the table, effectively. And it's customized to you. Number 2 is the rewiring. We are rewiring our clients' relationships with food. There is no more demonization of food groups. There is the relationship with food, understanding cravings, understanding menopausal specific cravings timed around cycle, whether you're perimenopausal or postmenopausal. This is something that you need to understand to fully grab the bull by the horns and take control of cravings, take control of snacking. Number 3 is sustainable activity, sustainable steps, effectively, or movement, home workouts, gym workouts, whatever it is for you. It's something that you can do forever. It is something that is customized to you, fits your lifestyle, and gradually incorporated into your schedule so that you can stick to it forever. We do not want you to go to the gym if it is something you absolutely detest, because it is not something that you are going to keep up for the rest of your life. We will find another activity, whether it's just steps even, that you will absolutely love. And number 4 is psychology. In this pillar, we address the belief systems here. We address self-limiting beliefs. We address self-fulfilling prophecy. We have a support network inside the MYM Club where we are reverse engineering your goals specific to you based on what it is that you want to achieve, the time frame that we have, and you as an individual. And then what happens is we get results like, if I am to pull it up on my phone, 2 seconds. I'll just quickly bring up the MYM Club. All right, so if we use Monique, for example, she's on week 3. She won't mind me sharing this. She's just 4.8 kilos in 3 weeks. Tracy Ann Cockles. She is 2 pound off 2 stone she's on week 13. We have Janet closing in. She's 2 pound off 2 stone in 12 weeks. There is Suzanne. Wait a second. Suzanne Gregg. I'll just do one more. So there's Suzanne Gregg is 2 stone 3 pound off in 11 weeks. Closing in. We are approaching maybe half a stone off of 3 stone. And these are the types of results you get when you start to customize your motivation, you customize your nutrition around that, and everything else. You address those 4 pillars, and you address the individual aspects of your lifestyle. Oh, Teresa, who's a new member, has lost 5.7 kilos in 2 weeks. That is, in 2 weeks. Correct me if I'm wrong, Teresa, but we spoke today, so I'm pretty sure I'm right. And then what we do is, once we get that, because of all those pillars, especially the food freedom, where there's more flexibility, you can stick to it. It's easier to sustain. We get to your goal weight, and because we've built that approach around you, there's no restriction of foods. It becomes easier to maintain because there's no drastic changes of cutting out alcohol, of cutting out carbohydrates. And that is the reason that we get the results we do, and people sustain their results for years after. So if you got any questions, pop them in the comment section below and I'll answer them. But if you want us to take you by the hand and help you implement this, comment MYM below. Now, if you comment, that doesn't mean you've signed up. The next step is for myself or Viola to send you a direct message, and we'll have a conversation to see if we can potentially help. Now, if we can book a call, to start building a plan for you, fantastic. If we can't, no problem. If we can't help, then we will be able to point you in the right direction. So either way, it's a win-win for you. But I'm just going to check the comment section to see if there are any comments. Brilliant. Tanya, hey, good evening. Good evening. Busy this morning with Jubilee celebrations. Hopefully I can watch this later. Yeah, I hope everyone has a fantastic time. Easily 10 plus Dean. I'm not too sure who that is, but I will go back to the comment section in a second. Let me have a look, actually, just to say hello. If you comment who that is, because you need permission, basically, for me to show your name on screen, data protection and all that. But I hope I'll reach out, whoever that is. I hope that's helped. This is basically the sort of building blocks for what we do inside the MYM Club. So again, if you want us to hold you by the hand and help you implement this step by step, comment MYM below, and we'll reach out to you today. I hope everyone has a fantastic day, evening, whenever you're watching this. I know there'll be a lot on replay. Have a fantastic time. Weekend. Hey, Donna. Have a great Jubilee celebration. And other than that, I bid you farewell. Have a fantastic